In 2025, a silent conflict is reshaping our world. It's a war happening right under our noses, a struggle for control fought not with conventional weapons, but with an ancient, immutable asset. And because nobody's calling it a war, most people are completely unaware of the stakes. There are no tanks rolling across borders, no missiles streaking across the sky. The weapon of choice is gold. The battles are fought through quiet shipments, sudden, massive buying sprees by central banks, and the silent, definitive clang of vault doors closing around the world. The biggest wealth shift in modern history is unfolding, and most people are missing the signs. To understand what's happening, we need to look back. For decades after World War II, the global financial system was anchored by the Bretton Woods Agreement. The US dollar was pegged to gold, and other currencies were pegged to the dollar. It created a predictable, stable framework for global trade. But in 1971, that system ended. The dollar was untethered from gold, and the world entered the era of fiat currencies, money backed only by the trust in the government that issues it. Gold was relegated to the sidelines, dismissed by some as a barbarous relic. Yet central banks never fully let go. They continued to hold gold as a core part of their reserves. Why? Because gold is the financial world's ultimate fire escape. It carries no counterparty risk. It isn't a promise to pay from someone else. It is simply and universally accepted as value. When currencies wobble and geopolitical tensions rise, gold doesn't ask questions. It provides a foundation of trust when other foundations crack. And over the past several years, central banks have been hoarding it at a pace we haven't seen in over half a century. This isn't just about accumulating shiny bars. It's about strategic positioning. The mechanics of this hidden war are subtle but clear if you know where to look. First, there's repatriation. For years, many countries stored their gold reserves in vaults in London and New York. Now they are bringing it home, ton by ton. This isn't just a logistical exercise. It's a declaration of monetary sovereignty. It says, our assets belong within our borders, under our control. Second, observe the shipping patterns. Gold is moving east. Nations in Asia and the Middle East are the biggest buyers, quietly rerouting the global flow of bullion away from its traditional Western hubs. These aren't speculative trades. They are long-term, strategic acquisitions. And third, new settlement systems are being built. Nations are creating alternative financial rails designed to bypass the old gatekeepers and reduce their dependence on the US dollar for international trade. These new systems are often designed to facilitate trade in local currencies, with gold as a potential neutral settlement asset in the background. So, who are the key players? And what are their motives? A major driver is the desire for sanction resilience. In a world where access to the dollar-based financial system can be used as a political weapon, holding physical gold within your own borders is a powerful insurance policy. It cannot be frozen or seized by a foreign power. Another motive is energy trade. Major energy producers are increasingly exploring ways to price their exports in currencies other than the dollar. Gold offers a neutral, apolitical benchmark for these transactions, a way to settle large accounts without relying on a single nation's currency. Finally, it's about building currency confidence. For emerging economies looking to increase the international appeal of their own currencies, a substantial gold backing provides credibility. It signals stability and prudence to global markets. This isn't about overthrowing the dollar overnight, but about creating a multipolar financial world where multiple currencies and assets share the stage. So what does a hidden gold war look like for regular people? It doesn't look like a war at all. It looks like less predictability in your daily life. It manifests as inflation that comes in waves, not straight lines. Periods of calm followed by sudden spikes in the cost of living that seem to come from nowhere. It feels like currencies that seem strong one day, only to feel fragile the next, making international travel, goods, and services more expensive without warning. This volatility is a direct consequence of the shifting tectonic plates in the global monetary system. Most importantly, it forces a distinction between assets and liabilities. Many things we think of as assets, like currency and a bank account, are technically someone else's liability, a promise to pay. In this new environment, assets that aren't someone else's promise suddenly matter more. This is the core appeal of gold in this shifting landscape. As this strategic game plays out, several scenarios are possible. We might see a slow drift from a dollar-centric system to a more fragmented one, with regional blocks settling trade among themselves using their own currencies or a neutral asset like gold. We could also face periodic liquidity squeezes, where the global demand for neutral, trusted collateral like gold outstrips the available supply, causing sharp, unpredictable shocks in financial markets. Each move by a central bank, each purchase, each repatriation, narrows the board and limits the options for everyone else. Here's the uncomfortable truth. In a world built on promises, gold is an apology-proof asset. Its value doesn't depend on a government's policy or a central bank's credibility. It simply is. You don't have to love it. You don't have to buy it. But in 2025, you do have to understand why the most powerful financial players on the planet are quietly accumulating it. Because the rules of the global financial game are changing, and the moves being made today, in silence, will determine the economic landscape for decades to come. Understanding this shift is the first step to navigating it.